No one and only.
It's just Oladipo for today. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Sorry about that.
So a bit of a warm welcome. How was the weekend? It was a weekend actually. So it's a bomba if you're just joining us for the very, very first time. This is a bar. It's basically just gist about everything and anything. These days, a lot of gist carries us to political things, and it's a very interesting one how this particular political scene, there's always some drama. It's filled with drama. I'm not even sure that there was a lot of people saw a lot of these things coming, but it is what it is, and we're going to enjoy the drama. We're here for the drama. So yeah,
I have always known that every political campaign would have ups and downs, would have gaffes, would have everything. It's going to have a sprinkling of everything, and some more than the other.
Yeah, so that's definitely what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about people's goofs, people's gaffes, people's unintentional additions and subtractions, and basically we're going to be talking about getting reactions off a lot of these things that has been happening. I'm looking for my paper. Did you by chance? Yes.
I love radio.
Excuse me, and the pen. Thank you. Why did you exit my paper from the? Thank you very much.
From what?
My paper, was not there, was it?
Wow.
Anyway, so
wow, that's how you say thank you in your village.
Thank you. Let me try manage thank you and give you thank you like that. If you cannot.
This generation, yeah.
Excuse you, please don't insult me. I don't know anything about what you're talking about. Please don't insult me. Thank you very much. So, we're going to be starting from a particular statement that was made a few days ago. We're starting from PDP. Where should we start from? Yes, I think it's okay to start from the PDP. Where, for people that do not know, in Nigeria, it is official that political campaigns have officially started. So, there's a lot of talk right there, back and forth. So on Saturday, specifically, the presidential candidate of the PDP, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, GCON, had on Saturday advised Northerners in Zaria, that is in Kaduna State. Oh, Kaduna State seems to have gotten a lot of stuff this weekend. But anyway, he had on Saturday advised Northerners to vote for him in the 2023 election since he's from the northern region. He said, and I quote, "What the average Northerner needs is somebody who's from the north and also understands that part of the country and has been able to build bridges across the country. This is what the Northerner needs. He does not need a Yoruba or Igbo candidate. I stand before you as a pan-Nigerian of northern origin," the Adamawa-born former vice president said.
I think it's one of the most contradictory statements ever made in the history of contradictory statements.
Yeah, because when you first start reading it doesn't sound so bad. Because when I first read it, I'm like, okay, this thing was not so bad. And then he didn't need to add the second paragraph. Do you understand?
No. When you say that you are the most,
you're saying you're pan-Nigerian.
You're saying they don't need Igbo and Yoruba.
I don't know.
And you want to govern Igbo and Yoruba, but you don't need them.
But you don't need them.
But you want to govern the resources that come from those places, but you don't need them.
But you don't need them, yeah.
And you're pan-Nigerian, and you have built, he said he has built bridges. He didn't build any physical bridge. It's bridges that he built in his dreams.
Wow. You just had to go there.
Yeah, he said he has built bridges, but we know that he hasn't really done anything when it comes to physical structures. He hasn't done nothing.
But he was a vice president. He wasn't president.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to clarify for people who would take it literally and say he said bridges. He has built bridges, and people were clapping. No, he's not talking about real bridges. That people like
human bridges. He's
not talking about bridges that people like Peter Obi and Tinubu has built. He's talking about bridges, or verbal bridges that I am from here and I'm connecting with you there. Yes, I said it.
Okay. Some people are vexed.
No, you see.
Anyway,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. Actually,
you can't keep, giving us all this political jingoism, coming up with all this.
But I honestly felt that maybe the second statement like you said, nothing. Is a little contradictory. That first statement was enough for whatever it is that he wanted to say. It was actually just enough.
His spin doctors are saying, that what he said was Nigeria. Yeah. He didn't say Nigerian. He said the northerner. He used the word northerner at least 3 times. That the northerner doesn't need what the northerner needs. Maybe he wanted to say what the Nigerian needs, which would have saved him a lot, because I'd have been like, even if we don't agree, he said the Nigerian, but he said the northerner. And he also said that he is a northerner. And he's standing before northerners, asking them to vote for him for that reason. The current president, where is he from?
He's from the north.
And almost 8 years now is not enough for you to look at it and say, look, there was a gentleman's agreement. In your party, it was written in the constitution. And there you are saying what the northerner needs. Even northerners are not happy with you. I've spoken to 1 or 2 people, and I've read a few of the things that they are saying. You look, Nigeria, this is the same man that calls himself unifier.
Yeah.
I'm sure he hasn't called himself. It's just those people that surround him that always try to, tag him with something that he really is not. If you are a unifier, what are you unifying, sir? Really and truly, you are a unifier, but you are talking about Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba. You come and say that Nigeria has never been this polarized. What did you just do? Did you just glue us together again? You just made it worse.
You made it worse. The very interesting part was that, like you said, the PDP has found a way to spin it, which I think is the work anyway.
Spin it.
But there's a bit of reactions, and before I take a lot of reactions from political parties, there are also some shocking reactions that you wouldn't expect. But one person I wanted to talk about, the reaction was from the Advocacy for Advancement of Peace and Harmony in Africa initiative, has said that the former vice president is basically, how do I put that in English now? That he lacks the capacity to unify Nigerians.
Obviously.
And I'm like, okay. It said that they're inciting a section of the country against candidates from other parts of Nigeria. Indeed, Nigeria is the largest democracy in Africa and the most populous black nation, has an enormous responsibility to be an exemplary figure in peace building and democratization, which makes sense. Do you understand? So I think that this was more than a goof. It was unnecessary. It was unnecessary.
A goof are things that you say mistakenly. This is a statement that is official because it came straight from the horse's mouth. Like, we actually heard and saw it with our own eyes and our 2 ears. Mm-hmm. For those of you that still have 2 ears, he actually did make that statement. So it's not a gaffe, it's not a goof. It is a statement of fact from his own angle, saying that the northerner. He kept on saying the northerner.
Yeah.
Now, you can't say such and wish it away. During political voyage earlier, Yemi even made reference to the time that he deleted a tweet that he claims was allegedly tweeted on his behalf when Deborah, the young Christian lady, was murdered in cold blood. You know, and
there are a lot of things that
I just not to question, you know, the intentions. What
exactly?
You need to question.
I totally agree with you. Let's take reactions, but before we get reactions from other political parties, another reaction that was very interesting for me is the governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, where he had said that he doubted the possibility of Atiku Abubakar making such a statement at a critical time of the nation's history, which means that what he's saying is that until he saw the video himself, he did not believe that anybody was going to say it. And then he further went ahead to say that the party must urgently address the issue and apologize and not spin it.
I don't think the party has plans to apologize. What I see from their statement is they are deflecting and they are going on the offensive, which means that it will never own up to that statement being wrong. And even
it could be a PR thing now.
Please explain. I want.
No, what I mean by him not talking about it again is, you know, they will tell you that after a while, because there's always something to talk about. In a few days, it will probably blow over because somebody else is going to do something else.
But for as long as the campaigns are on, for as long as he's going to grant interviews, for as long as he's planning to attend any debate, it's not going anywhere. So at times you need to address it. Address it. Look, soft landing for you. Listen to me now. Let me spin it. I honestly meant to say Nigerian, and I said Northerner.
Yeah, I think that at times you need to just own up to your mistakes.
That what I meant is that what the Nigerian needs is a pan-Nigerian person who has built bridges across all parts of Nigeria. What the Nigerian. Then when I said Igbo, these are my friends, I was just joking. You know, there's a way you own up. But can you deny the fact that you actually said they don't need Yoruba and they don't need Igbo? Do you understand? Do you understand?
It's a lot. It's a lot. I totally agree with you.
You cannot want to rule the entire Nigeria and be segregating the people that you are talking to and the people that should vote for you and people who shouldn't vote for you based on the things you're saying. Because now you're saying to the... Okay, let's think about the logic behind what he said. What the Northerner needs is someone like him.
Okay, so what does the Southerner need?
You Southerners is your problem.
You go and look for him.
But what he's also saying is that he will now come to Lagos to campaign. And we will ask him, why are you campaigning for our votes? You already have the votes that you need in the north. If you feel that it's the north that's going to make you president, you don't need to come and campaign. Abi? And like Tinubu said, they will not ask you, what does the Southerner need? You know, so would you make that kind of statement in Zaria, then come back, then come to, you know, Aguleri, or come to Umunya, or come to Port Harcourt?
I get what you're
saying. And what are you going to tell them?
It was a lot.
What are you going to tell them?
It was a lot. Still talking about reactions from this particular statement. The APC and the Labour Party also have a few things to say. According to the APC's National Publicity Secretary, Felix Morka, he had said that, exactly, you know, I'd not even read this before, and he said, what does Atiku think the average Southerner needs then? Why is it about what the average Northerner needs? They're talking about how it shows his desperation to rule the country.
Yeah, he actually
says that his utterance is an attack on the country's long-preserved national unity.
You cannot claim to be a unifier. You cannot claim to be a country and be segregating us. Again, we're copying the presidential system of governance from the USA. Picture any of the presidential candidates that you have heard about in the last 10 years in America, or let's say last 15 years, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden. Picture any of them saying what the mention any state.
What the Texans need.
What the Texans need. Are you trying to be governor of Texas? So if you're talking about northern Nigeria, are you trying to break Nigeria up to the point where you will now give the northerners what they need?
What they need.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Are you trying to tell us something that we don't know?
Yeah.
Mr. Atiku, really and truly, this is the height of it. This one past goof.
It was a little.
It's almost as if there's one jazz somewhere that is being evoked that made you misanswer. This one heavy now. The sad part is actually on video. If it was written down, you can blame an assistant.
Maybe, exactly.
Oh, you say it was your press secretary that did it and he has been fired. Because this kind of thing, somebody needs to be fired. So who are we going to fire?
But even if that was written for you as your speech, you yourself should have looked through it. The Labour Party also is calling Atiku an ethnic bigot.
Imagine.
Saying that someone that cannot unify his party wants to unify Nigeria. Okay. I think that's a little unnecessary.
It's very necessary. Shout out to the Labour Party for that.
That is a little. Oh my God. I think that at this point, PDP needs to look for another spin to what it is that they're talking about. It's not.
The truth is, we talk about the spins because we try to do damage control and we look at angles and stuff. Now, when we're done with what PDP needs to do and what Atiku has said and done, let's talk about the Nigerian voter. I did not say the northern voter, the Igbo, Yoruba voter. I'm talking about the Nigerian voter. In a country that has over 300 languages and well over 100 tribes. I use 100 loosely.
Yeah.
I know it's more than that, yeah? What do we need? Because every time we always focus on the so-called major tribes. And they are so-called, and it's very, very vexatious.
Yeah.
What do you want the Ijaw man
to,
who is a Lagosian, to do? Or who is from Ondo to do? What do you want the Yoruba man that lives in Kogi and Kwara? Exactly how do we want to unify Nigeria when we know that there are Igbo people in Delta State and there are Igbo people in the core part of the eastern part of Nigeria? How are you unifying people when you start to pick on tribes and you're choosing and you're saying what they need? Well, what they need is to listen to every one of these candidates and make up their minds. Who do you think will serve you best? Who do you think deserves your vote? We're at that point in time where you start to make up your mind. Because when someone goes all out to tell you what the northern person needs,
that is it's kind of heavy anyway. So talking about gaffes, I think that it was Kaduna State's what's the word now?
There's something in the air.
There was something in the air in Kaduna State, as it seemed that it didn't seem there was a slip up also. I don't want to call it a slip up because I think this one was a slip up because the two different issues actually. Two completely different issues. The APC presidential candidate, where he was speaking at the same Saturday at the 7th edition of the Kaduna Economic and Investment Summit, CAD Invest, which is really big. It has really been big and all that. Had said that the Governor El Rufai, had turned a rotten situation to a bad one. And I'd seen a statement, let's start from there, from the APC, where the APC had come out to say that it was a slip up and that it happens and that it was just kind of apologizing. That he was supposed to say he turned a rotten situation to a good one.
Grammatically or syntactically, You could actually say it
could actually go. Yeah, that was really what I thought.
It turned a rotten situation into a bad one, because that's an improvement. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Then you go further, sir. Daddy Uncle Tinubu. You now go further and say he now made the bad situation better or good. You get. But since that was not what you were planning to say, I watched that speech. I actually watched it live on TV, and you will know there was a script, but you also know that he was going off script a lot. Like, he was speaking, he wasn't reading. You get, he was reading. You would have read what was written if he was reading, but he wasn't reading. It was more or less like scanning and talking. Maybe he had bullet points or something. This is why we say to people in our trade to use prompters. Yeah. If he had a prompter, one person that is very good with the prompter is the vice president. The guy can work as a
he's an orator. Oh no, he's good.
He can work.
Please,
it's like Barack.
Don't touch it.
It's like Barack Obama too, and all of that.
I agree.
But having said that, I think that's a very big gaffe on the part of the APC's candidate. It's those are things that his campaign does not need at the time. Where everybody is questioning everything move that he makes.
Yeah.
I know his people have come out to say, "Oh, that is the one to beat, is the one that everybody wants to be like," and all of that. We get that. But you should stick to the script, especially when you're in an era where there's technology now.
Yeah, and then everybody's going to pick at everything you say.
Okay, look at the part where they were launching the women's wing of the presidential council.
Yeah.
Presidential campaign council. And what he said was actually edited. Where he was, launching his tirade at the PDP. He went for the PDP full blast that day. And he said when they say they want a change of government, you tell them to shut up. When I saw the video, they had cut all the PDP part out, and people were angry that the APC candidate is telling everybody to shut up, and that they're going to show him and all. Of course, the video had been cut off.
So that was when there was not even a slip up. Now, when there is now an intentional.
2 years ago, during the NSAS protest too, when he made a statement, they did the same thing to him. The part where he said he was going to visit, if he's permitted by the governor, he wants to visit the victims, they want to organize, palliatives and all sorts of things for them, and all of this and that and that. And nobody heard that part. They cut out the part where he said, what were they doing there? But if you look at the thing in full context, you understand that it wasn't exactly like that. So I think he should have learned his lesson by now and speak by the script. Speak by the script.
Just stick to whatever it is that you're reading.
Yeah, and in places where you feel like going off, off script, he has to
just be a little careful
and choose his words. But I think it's not good enough. It's not that's a very bad move.
So talking about taking reactions.
But see, the smart thing that they did, they owned it. They owned it. GC as against someone keeping quiet or deflecting.
Okay. Also, the PDP has something to say on this, of course. Has now criticized the APC candidate, saying that he's tired and that should go home and rest. They're saying that they want to call the attention of Nigerians to unsuitability of the vice presidential candidate the presidential candidate of the APC, that there's a lot of blunders that he had made publicly, and it doesn't seem like he's well enough for the task ahead.
Well, that's politics for you. Smart move on the part of the PDP.
They're going to pick. Everybody picks up.
Milk it, expand it, and use it. And again, it also helps them deflect off.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that it actually doesn't. Those things that just help you just deflect off.
But has he made one too many gaffes in public? Yes, he has. So it's also on him, to know how he presents, himself and his candidacy.
Exactly. So, We've talked about the APC. We've talked about the PDP. Now we're moving on to the Labour Party. It's one of the very popular parties going into this election. And a few days ago, the conversation that has been on everybody's lips the past few days about the Labour Party is names that popped up in the Presidential Advisory Council and the Presidential Campaign Council as well. One of the names that they're talking about is former Army spokesperson Major General John Eneche, who the conversation around it was that he had declared the Lekki shooting to be photoshopped. And we know that one of the bases really about Labour Party now is about the NSAS and all that. And then for you to now put someone who blatantly came on video to denigrate all that and then say all those bad things, and then the person is obviously a member of the Labour Party. A lot of people had a lot of things to say, so now he has actually come out to say some things. First, on Friday, his official Twitter handle, he said that the reactions from the video that was shot at the NSAS incident, where he said that the video was photoshopped, he said, and I quote, "Personally and professionally, I worked with the overriding interest of Nigerians at heart, based on the oath of allegiance I swore on commission into the military service, which is sacrosanct." So basically, he's saying that he lied for the army.
Well, I don't know.
First thing that pops up in my head is that even if you are retired, let's even assume that that's what happened. Are you still allowed to say such things?
That's why there's a little bit of misgiving on my own part. Like, I feel like he's more or less saying, okay, I lied. That's what, like, when I was in the military, what I said was because I was supporting the military. But now that I'm out, I don't feel exactly that way. That's what this. But I think all of this was avoidable if the Labour Party had showed a little bit of tact. Tact in the sense that, yes, you do need powerful people around you. You know, a recently retired Major General or Lieutenant General or whatever his rank was, is a top person to have in your corner.
Yeah, you just didn't have to put his name
have to be on the
list. Yes, exactly.
He can even walk in that council without his name being there.
His name being there is just a list at the end of the day. There's 1,001 people that are going to work on that.
Lately, I'm looking at this campaign, PDP, APC, Labour Party, so much ado about a presidential council. Why is this so much
drama around
they brought out only 500 names.
Exactly.
They have to expand it. They brought this, they brought that. You see, the real issues with the Labour Party list is not just the fact that they put General Eneche's name. It's the fact that the list is skewed to reflect the Labour Party in a bad light.
Yeah.
Whoever came up with this list did not do them any favors whatsoever. You made the party look one-sided. And it's a fact, except you're going to tell me that that list is not original.
Even and after now that there's talks about how the list has been withdrawn and a lot of things, but it's already out there. Like you had talked about the PDP's issue earlier. It's there already. It's there. That would always be something that is hanging around you. Like you said, it's very interesting where a lot of these things could have been avoided. This man's name, I don't know if the military are going to say anything with his statement. I feel it's a little funny though. I don't know, maybe it's me that I'm talking, because I know that even if that's what happened, I know that even they'll tell you that a soldier is always a soldier. I think that there's some things that I'm not sure that you are particularly obliged to release into the public, even though you're retired and all that. But we'll definitely see how this pans out. But before we leave Major General Eneche's conversation, he had an interview today where he attributed the calls for his removal to the lack of adequate information on the EndSARS incident.
Okay.
He insisted on need for strategic information. Two younger Nigerians allegedly killed at the Lekki toll gate. He also said that he was encouraged by his exit from the campaign council, that he looks forward, that it's fine that his name has been removed, and he looks forward to Nigeria, the economy will be good and Nigeria will be fine.
It's funny though. It's funny how once people just come out and say something or follow the popular opinion or popular views, you know, their perception changes, or perception about them changes, and it becomes a saint, more or less. And this happens to all the parties, every single one of them, every single one. The one in government, the one that wants to take over, the ones that were there before, you know, it's the same thing, you know. But I still feel that, you know, the Labour Party could have still brought in,
avoided this completely.
General Eneche, bring him in without putting his name in any council, and he will function in whatever capacity you want him to, without all the noise of you know, grandstanding. Because at times, again, it's almost as if people are trying to do a who is who list, as against a list that
would actually be effective. Yeah, I agree
like,
with
look
you.
at the people on the list. Now this is why you should understand that we're big and you must respect and vote for us.
Okay, so if you're just watching us, if you're just joining us, if you're just listening to us, it is still the Boom Bar on your Boom Radio NG, and it is with Oladolupo and SR right here this wonderful afternoon in the city of Lagos. So we've been talking political stories, and we're moving on. We're still talking, I don't know if this is a political story, because this morning there was news that broke that Labour Party senatorial candidate Linus Okorie was abducted. Yeah, very, very interesting. And you know, I saw it when I'm like, okay, what's the problem? In fact, I think that I was going to it was going to be part of our 12 o'clock news, but I think it just skipped my mind.
Yeah, so they're saying it's been released also.
So now the conversation started. Yes, I think I saw it. I wanted to give a chronological.
Yeah, the background. I know. I get it.
So they're saying there was a claim that from a David Ogbonna, saying that he was kidnapped on his way to his house in Abakaliki by gunmen suspected to be men of Ibubiagu security outfit. They also said that they have information that confirms that he was severely tortured and near-death situation, that he made naked pictures and videos of him, and that they said that their endpoint motive is to torture him to death and dump his body at Ebonyi River. Okay, that's a lot of allegations. Now, according to the police, then the police came out today and said that he is actually not abducted, that he was arrested, and according to him that there's been a lot of invitation by the police, and he has refused to answer any of those things. They're saying that even to a certain extent there's some drug trafficking allegations against him and all that. That he was arrested by the Ibubiagu security outfit, and he is now with the police. He was with the police earlier, and that yes, he was arrested and he was not abducted. And latest news now is that he has now been released.
Yes, of course, a lot of people have weighed in. A lot of people on social media have actually lent their voices to this incident. There was some kind of mini riot in his village. The youth there actually hit the streets, complaining. I think that's when the police now responded, and also with all the hue and cry on social media. I just know that there's something wrong somewhere. Like there must be some kind of history, just like you laid the background. Now, there are talks about him and the governor having some kind of issues. He's been in the opposition all this while. He's an House of Rep, two-time House of
Rep member,
and now he's doing for Senate with the Labour Party. There must be something wrong somewhere. Then the funny thing is the allegations of torture also. I don't think it's right. Even if someone is your political opponent and everything, there are ways.
But my question is that I hope that's why when I was reading the story, question. I hope that it is, because my issue is, except you have like evidence, did they send you the pictures of him being tortured or him being beaten to death?
Who said he was being
the person that released the statement that he was abducted. There was a lot of allegations.
Near death.
Yeah, that he was, and that the plan was that they were going to beat him to death and then throw his body in some river and all. I think that's heavy.
Okay, so there's something that there's a pattern that you I'm sure you know. Politicians exaggerate.
Yeah,
politicians manipulate.
That's why I said that. And those are very huge.
Yeah.
Because there was a video that was made by his wife. That was what started that he was abducted.
Yeah, and they're not achieved what they wanted to achieve. He was arrested or abducted yesterday, and he's out today, Monday. The police actually even went as far as saying that they have invited him several times.
Yeah, and then he refused to come.
Now you get it. So now that there's a lot of hue and cry about it, even his own political party has come out to say they had to release him. Someone that's not even a member of their party, Omoyele Sowore, also, lent his voice about 3 hours ago. But that's around the time the guy was released also, again. So, but whatever it is, I just feel that there's something wrong somewhere. There's some story that we will get to hear later.
Yeah,
this was actually what was going on, and this is what went wrong, or this is what transpired.
Okay, so before we leave the Labour Party, I just saw this news now where there's been a lot of mixed reactions. That there is a picture going around that Peter Obi is in Kaduna as well. Okay, what's with Kaduna this weekend? Because right now there's a pictures that the Labour Party presidential candidate and his running mate went ahead to visit very controversial Kaduna-based Islamic cleric Sheikh Ahmad Gumi.
Well, good luck to them. It's politics. This is the things that politicians do. They go about looking for endorsements, go about looking for networks and building bridges.
I'm sorry. It might sound funny, but this bridge is very suspicious.
They might feel that maybe Sheikh Gumi would add value to their campaign. You never can tell. Maybe they have some intel, about how Gumi will be of political relevance to the.
Yeah, there's been a lot of
tickets,
reactions. Like, tell them.
And in a personal capacity, I'm not sure that's the kind of guy
you want to
that I want to be seen with. Someone who has a lot of baggage.
So
someone who there's some kind of looming cloud around
him. Yeah, it's very, very funny. So reacting, someone on Twitter says, man like Icy says, we called out General Eneche to be removed from the PCC because of his denial of Lekki massacre. We must equally condemn Peter Obi for meeting Gumi, a well-known bandits negotiator. We must not defend what's barbaric. Another person, Theo Abu Agada, tweeted, said, at least nobody will troll PDP supporters with picture of Atiku and Gumi again, as sent Obi meets alleged terrorist, according to his supporters. Yeah. And then another person says, there is no way you can defend Peter Obi visiting Gumi. It's annoying and sad. Same people, another Ashiwaju Larry says, same people that called Sheikh Gumi a national threat are now singing his praises because Peter Obi took pictures with him. Nigerian politics is a dirty game.
Well, I'm glad that more people are saying it. And I owe it to everybody out there who has not seen this to see it, that politicians are the same.
Yeah, so according to this other person, Novi Everest says, Peter Obi is contesting to be president of Nigeria as a whole. He will dialogue with everyone, even the ones you feel are your enemies. Sheikh Gumi isn't the only Nigerian Peter Obi will meet you won't like. He will meet every Nigerian. Thank you.
Okay, so like I was saying, Sha,
okay,
there is no difference.
Let's stop spinning something. Some of these things look wrong.
They have all gone to meet retired generals, all of them. All of them. Atiku has gone to see Obasanjo. Tinubu has gone to see Obasanjo.
Yeah.
Peter Obi is Obasanjo's guy. You know, at the weekend he was at a party where he got up
and gave him a seat
and left the event. He left the event. He took the microphone from Sheung, who was the MC, and spoke and said his job is done. And a lot of people said it's symbolic. You understand? I'm like, yeah, symbolism is good, right? So how is he different? They're all the same.
They're all the same, yeah.
So support your candidate, support your candidate, but don't come and say one is better than the other. They are all the same. Sheikh Gumi, really?
I'm sorry,
seriously?
I'm sorry, yeah. I know that we're supposed to be like neutral and all that, but on this one, I am sorry. There's no how this doesn't look good. There's no way. I don't think there's no way you can spin this drama and make it look. There's no spin in this. It does not look good. It does not look good, and that's the honest truth. My opinion, though. But anyway, let's move on from that and let's move on to another drama that happened over the weekend. Yeah, another drama completely, and this drama now is going all the way to Imo State, and this is the drama between the former governor and the current governor. So I think what started this conversation was there's an audio really that is going around about where the former governor was saying that there would not be any form of what's the word now? There won't be any peace in Imo State until Governor, I think it's Umaida is there. Yeah, I think.
Imo,
no, wait. Uzodima. Yeah. That Governor Uzodima would not, except he vacates the seats, that there will not be peace in Imo State. That was what this voice note said, and a lot of people had been alleging that this was the voice of the former. No, is he even former because he was sacked? So I'm not sure that he's recognized as a governor of the state. So also there was a letter, which I didn't see the letter though, but even there's been a lot of talks about the letter, saying that the letter was written to the Minister of Justice, urging the minister not to release the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. Now, the former governor, or the sacked governor, whichever one, has now come out to say that security operatives need to investigate those impersonating him and forging his signature. In fact, he went ahead to say that why would he be afraid for the federal government to release Nnamdi Kanu, that if anybody is afraid of Nnamdi Kanu, it is Sorry, it's the current governor that is afraid of him and not he.
Imo politics is very interesting.
Very interesting. I agree with you.
It's borderline dramatic. What's borderline? It's dramatic.
It is dramatic. Very dramatic.
And in reading the PDP's former gubernatorial candidate, in reading his statement, there's some innuendo, there's some things that you're trying to figure out, like, okay, what exactly is
happening here,
is going on here. He's even said something about more or less casting aspersions on the Supreme Court. If I was him, I wouldn't do that. I can still pass my message without casting a shadow on the Supreme Court. You don't want to do that. You really don't want to do that. Then he says that they're cooking up stories against him.
Yeah, that they want to they want to drag me out by an orchestrated campaign of lies. Please, where did you see all this English that you used to speak? You want to say a lot of English.
Yeah, it's interesting actually.
It's interesting.
He went as far as talking about.
Yeah, he went ahead. He said that having succeeded, this is him and quoting him verbatim, saying that having succeeded in their evil plot of removing me from office. He now said they realized that the bigger battle was winning the hearts and minds of the people, and that is proven difficult. I think it's a lot.
Well, the thing about this kind of things is we're going to tell people, that we're going to keep tabs on this one. Is our own way of saying we are tired. We're moving to another story. You understand? That's the truth.
My God, that's not the truth all the time.
In this case, it's the truth.
But anyway, we'll see how, because there's a lot of drama. I listened to.
How are they concocted voice messages?
I listened to. I actually saw I think part of the voice note on Twitter, and I listened to a bit of it. I for his own sake, I hope he's not the one. I'm hoping that, people do all sorts of things these days. They're even deep fakes that people do these days. So, anything is possible with technology. But for his own sake, I hope that it's not what they're talking about. So we're going all the way now. We're moving all the way to Zamfara State. Well, first things first, there's a lot of back and forth between the APC and the PDP. There's been a lot of violence that has happened over the past few days and weeks, that it has caused the governor. I think last week there was talks of the governor shutting down shutting down a lot of political campaign issues and even curfews and lockdowns in some particular towns in Zamfara State. Now, the news that broke this morning, according to the State Commissioner for Information, had said that this was after the governor had shut down the branch of NTA in the state, and also Gamji TV, Al Umma TV, and Pride FM Radio for covering political rallies. Now, according to the State's Commissioner for Information, it stated that political rallies had earlier been banned in the state. Why? I do not understand why. We're political season. Why would? I don't understand why you would do that.
There's a law, because I always like to defer to the law. There's a law against political rallies, right?
Yeah, the state government had suspended all political rallies in the first place due to security challenges. They now said that the PDP ignored the order and held a rally in Gusau, the state capital, which now one person was killed and 18 others were injured. And now 4 media houses now decided to cover the event.
And they got shut.
And then they got shut down.
And one of them is the National...
It's the National Television Authority.
Okay, so by law, it probably was empowered to do what it did by shutting down those TV stations. But politically, looking at timing and all of that, I probably wouldn't have done it. Do you understand? I could have.
But to not worsen it, people got injured and died.
Yeah, I get it, but you see, what's going to happen to his own campaign and his own plans for re-election? You know, because.
But at the end of the day, should it be all just about politics?
No, but for someone like him, that's what it's gonna be. He definitely wants to get re-elected. You know, so maybe he shouldn't have, wielded the big stick. He could have maybe, sanctioned them and done whatever. I don't know if their law provides that, or he can, do some kind of, arrangement where.
Yeah, because I agree with you. Now, the story that is going around is that Governor Matawale sanctions media houses because of PDP rally. Yes, it was only the PDP rally that happened, but we should also look at it from an angle that there was a conversation before that part, and to not worsen it, I don't even think that it would have even been so bad, especially when someone actually died at that rally.
Now that's sad.
That's sad. That's very sad. Said some out of the 18 people injured, there's some people still in critical conditions. So maybe he was right after all.
In a way, the governor is justified.
Yeah, that's.
So regardless of all the hue and cry, there's a law against it, and people broke that law, and someone still died.
Before we finally move away from rallies, there is a presidential rally that is ongoing in Kaduna State, the PDP presidential rally that is going on, and there was also reports of some thugs that had come to that had invaded the venue. They said it caused chaos and made some party supporters to scramble for safety. The presidential candidate of PDP now said that the disruption was against the spirit of peace accord signed by all political parties, saying that calling on President Muhammad Buhari to call parties to avert a breakdown of law and order.
Okay, it's like we noted, Kaduna is like the hub now for politics, at least at the moment. The PDP candidate made that statement that has got people talking in Kaduna State. The former emir of Kano, also made some very, very strong statements at the weekend, also in Kaduna. The gaffe by the APC presidential candidate was made in Kaduna. He flew to Ekiti. In fact, what he said in Ekiti too, they held it against him, even if he was talking to Ekiti people, not to Nigerians at large. And I heard he's also meeting with the House of Assembly today in Kaduna. So it looks like
he flew back and forth.
He flew to Ekiti and flew back to Kaduna. And now the presidential candidate of the PDP, Abubakar Atiku, said, "I have just received emergency reports of attacks on PDP supporters by thugs sponsored to scuttle the ongoing PDP campaign rally in Kaduna State." Okay. "I have just received emergency reports of attacks on PDP supporters by thugs sponsored to scuttle the ongoing PDP campaign rally in Kaduna State. This is undemocratic and against the peace accord all parties signed up for." If that's the same thing that you read now.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, were you reading from Atiku?
Yeah.
I thought you were reading from.
No, it was
the
a
party.
quote.
So,
I said it.
No. I thought it was the party thing. Oh. So in all of this, that means he's not there.
Yeah.
We don't want violence. We've had several matches, million man match, 1 trillion man match, 1 naira match, 1 billion naira match. We have had them without incidents.
In drama, yeah.
Different parts of Nigeria. We do not want a situation where people cannot express themselves. So again, in organizing these rallies and this campaign marches and everything, security must be top notch, and they should make sure that these guys are arrested, and they must tell the world who sponsored them, because they won't be acting on their own. They're usually paid to go and cause trouble. Do you understand? Regardless of the party, you don't want anybody to be attacked because they're trying to campaign or join a rally. That's wrong. So I join my voice with everybody that's condemning this to say the police should swing into action and bring the perpetrators to book.
So, finally, before we go, I want to talk about something that happened yesterday, as Ekiti State finally got, what's the word now? A brand new governor.
Mm-hmm. New airport,
new governor. They got a brand new airport on Saturday, and the governor yesterday. And it's very interesting. There are a few things that we're going to talk about. So the first thing he's done now is that he shut down. The new governor has now frozen all accounts of the state. He has also appointed his chief press secretary, who used to be the same the press secretary to governor the former governor Kayode Fayemi, and he has also appointed a secretary to the state government also immediately. That was yesterday. Now, a very interesting conversation that I saw earlier today was it's the first time in the history, I think since 1999 at least, in Ekiti State, that a former governor is actually handing over a pen of authority of the same party to the next governor.
Yeah,
it's actually never happened, and then I never really thought about it. I'm like, okay, well, and so when you really think about it, Ekiti State is a lot. It is a lot when it comes politically. It's not very. I don't want to say it's not very stable. But there's some states that you say, okay, this state is a PDP state, this state's in an APC state. It's one state that, can go either way. We've definitely seen it happen a lot.
What do they call it in politics? Swing states.
Mm-hmm.
They could go this way or go that way. At the inauguration yesterday, it was nice to see Governor Fayose, former Governor Fayose.
Yeah, he was there as well.
In attendance.
Yeah, all former governors since 1999 were there.
I don't care about all those people.
Governor, the former governor Niyi Adebayo was also.
I don't care about.
Was also there.
Sorry, I don't care about. I care about the fact that Ayodele Fayose.
Oh yeah, and I saw a video where someone was asking him some question, and then next thing he said was, "I don't answer foolish questions." I'm like, God.
Yeah.
This man, like.
I like the fact that Fayose was there. That. He knows how to do his Ekiti thing, like it's regardless of party or whatever. For me that's a big deal, and I'm not sure you would find that in states that have had governors from different parties.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
So this is more of a Fayose thing, like he's showing that, look, man, I'm an Ekiti person.
That's a very good thing to emulate from the Ekiti people. And on that note, that is all we have to take. But finally, before we go, there's been a conversation where there's an order that has been put out by the president saying that Nigerian Air, which has been given to the Ministry of Aviation, the Nigerian Air has to begin operations before the end of 2022.
Yeah, it was one of the campaign promises that were made about 8 years ago. It was stuff that Nigerians thought they would have gotten about 6 years or 5 years ago. So even if it's in the twilight of the government, whenever it is, they have to get it right and they have to fulfill it, because campaign promises are meant to be fulfilled. Yeah. So on that note, that is all we'll be able to take. Thank you for listening. Thank you very, very much for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time to give you another wonderful edition of The Bar.
Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Okay, you're looking at me. You want to say something?
No. It's fine. It's okay. You're okay. You're doing well.